In other words, mind control.
In neurotechnology are devices and methods that can do two things. They can either be used to measure the activity of the brain or to change the activity of the brain. We're worried because, again, the brain is not just another organ of the body, and this technology can offer the opportunity to decode and manipulate mental activity. Is this science fiction? It's not science fiction. In laboratories like myself, we've been doing this routinely with laboratory animals like mice, where we can implant artificial images in the heads of mice and control their behavior. They essentially behave as if they're seeing these images that they're not really seeing, that we're actually putting into their brains with neurotechnology. What we can do in a mouse today, you can do in the future in a human.
This is time and date. Now, like I said before, Popular Mechanics Magazine Psychoelectronic Weapons Effects came out 2018. Does talk about a good chunk of what real gang stalking victims will actually go through. Then you type in the 60 Minutes Havana Syndrome episodes, 60 Minutes Havana Syndrome episodes. And this is one of my new favorite videos, my new favorite documentary talking about gang stalking, targeted individuals through a legal and scientific lens is this one right here. Holy crap, this one. And I'm going to use a little snippet, a little video segment from this documentary to prove that this woman right here, there's an ad. You know how I feel about these people who claim that they're gang stalking victims, and they have ads. I'm like, listen, okay, he's not part of this group, but if you are a real gang stalking victim, they don't want you to make money. I'm saying that to you right now. You wouldn't be advertised on YouTube. You will be censored, blacklisted, shadow banned, and delisted like me and the rest of everybody else. If you was a real gang stalking victim, you would not be monetized. Anyway, to prove my point, let's go to this homeless dude who was harassing me, and then LAPD did the cherry on top of the harassment. Why did you call us? I did call you. You were 2 hours late. Anyway, so let's go to George Webb. This is journalist George Webb. He did not talk about a chosen one in this video, and this video is over 2 years old. But this man was talking about harassment campaigns. Gang stalking is similar to all these other harassment campaigns, but all these other harassment campaigns are not gang stalking. What the similarities are is if you are one of these victims of these harassment campaigns, they don't want you to make money. So clearly you would not be advertised on YouTube.
Because of that, I ended up in the program, in the TI program, sort of a modern COINTELPRO. I think it might be called Disrupt and Discredit, or Disrupt and Destroy, D&D for short. But the idea is very much like the old Stasi program, to basically decompose the person's life, ruin their relationships, get them fired from their job when they're out of money, and then they're homeless, and they get sick, and then they die. And then do that to their whole family if you really don't like them.
Clearly you wouldn't be advertised on YouTube. So let's get rid of this ad. I'm not saying this person was a fake gang stalking victim or is a fake gang stalking victim. There's so many ones that are, and they're advertised. They're monetized. Okay, so that flies in the face of conventional wisdom when it comes to gang stalking. Okay, ad, got 2 ads on here. Okay, skip. Now you see this woman right here? Like, okay, well, she said that she was targeting Tasha K, I don't know who she is, was gang stalking her for telling the truth about gang. Look, okay, I will admit that this woman right here was a victim of a harassment campaign, and all harassment campaigns are illegal. They're unconstitutional. And everybody who's involved in the harassment campaign needs to go to jail, okay? They need to go to jail, okay? So I will give her that she was a victim of a harassment campaign, but nobody was gang stalking her. Nobody was gang stalking that woman. This is gang stalking. Popular Mechanics Magazine Psychoelectronic Weapons Effect. 60 minutes. Let's type in 60 Minutes Havana Syndrome episode. 60 minutes. Havana Syndrome. Okay, Havana syndrome. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, let's see if I can find it. Okay, Havana syndrome episodes. Okay, this is similar to the stuff that I experienced. Hell, I was right here when I was experiencing. I just experienced this just like 10 minutes ago. The phantom touch attacks. Okay, well, let's see if I can find it in my external hard drive.
Then the severe ear pain started. So I liken it to if you put a Q-tip too far and you bounce off your eardrum. Well, imagine taking a sharp pencil and just kind of poking that. It was very jarring and painful. And eventually I started blacking out.
Nowhere. My youngest son was passing out for no reason.
Some of what they have told us about what happened to their children is particularly disturbing.
My daughter, who's very athletic, went for a run. She lost all of her right side eyesight. She couldn't see anything to her right. And she's asking me if she's going blind.
The reason why I brought up that clip is because I personally experienced what those two people went through. That one guy and the parents were talking about what their kids went through. I personally been through that. So when you see all these fake gang stalking victims like Stephanie the Seeker, the Eye of the Mind's Eye, the gang stalking playbook, that dude named Rodriguez, when you listen to the SRGB Wormwood, Closing the Gaps, all these other fake gang stalking victims, they don't talk about that. They can't talk about that because this gang stalking is not spiritual or religious, okay? It's nothing to do with New Age. This is a crime. It's a crime. It's a crime that what I experienced. It's a crime. People are manipulating my central nervous system. I did not sign a commission. I did not sign a permission slip. I did not sign a consent form, and nobody talking about compensation for the pain and suffering my family have experienced because of this shit. Nobody said crap to me and my family, but I'm a gang stalking victim, and this is a crime that I'm going through. And you have all these people that now, we'll talk about gang stalking. Well, Tasha K was gang stalking me. Look, Tasha K was gang stalking you. From what I've seen, this chick named Tasha K put this woman in a harassment campaign. And like I said before, gang stalking is a harassment campaign, but not all harassment campaigns are gang stalking. And I'm getting really, really sick and tired of people conflating the two. I don't know, it's a psyop, but I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, a psychological operation campaign on purpose, or they don't know. Like I said before, I'm not an expert on gang stalking, but these people are not talking about gang stalking. This black woman talking about some Tasha K. Is she being hit with direct energy weapons and mind control technology? Is she? I don't know. I don't know about her new documentary, but I don't think so. But yeah, I'm getting really sick and tired of it. Really, really sick and tired of it. Because it cheapens the things that I went through and my family went through. It cheapens it. And, I don't get monetized for none of the videos that I make and put on YouTube. I'm not monetized, and YouTube blacklisted, delisted, shadow banned, and censored my videos multiple times, and I showed you this evidence throughout the years. But people can just continue to lie about what gang stalking is. It's a crime. You're not a chosen one. There's so many genocides in Nigeria, Sudan, Yemen, Palestine, Ukraine, and nobody who's a victim of the stuff that's happening in those countries, nobody's talking about they're a chosen one that's for greatness with the power of God. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that. But you have a whole bunch of fake gang stalking victims talking about a chosen one and this religion deity. It's really annoying. All right, let's continue the rest of this.
In other words, mind control.
In neurotechnology are devices and methods that can do two things. They can either be used to measure the activity of the brain or to change the activity of the brain. We're worried because, again, the brain is not just another organ of the body, and this technology can offer the opportunity to decode and manipulate mental activity. Is this science fiction? It's not science fiction. In laboratories like myself, we've been doing this routinely with laboratory animals like mice, where we can implant artificial images in the heads of mice and control their behavior. they essentially behave as if they're seeing these images that they're not really seeing, that we're actually putting into their brains with neurotechnology. What we can do in a mouse today, you can do in the future in a human.
The Neurorights Foundation are pushing for a new kind of human rights, neurorights, to protect your thoughts, your identity, your very self from the prying eyes of algorithms and electrodes. They argue for 5 core principles: mental privacy, personal identity, free will, fair access to technology, and protection from bias.